Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to hop on here with some things that I wanted to tell you about from my first couple of outings using Nikon Z 24-70 f2.8 version 2 S lens. Now, I recently got this lens not too long ago and I've taken it out for a couple of outings, and there's already a few things that I've noticed that I thought I should tell you about. First off, I do want to make clear that the original 24-70 f2.8 S lens and the new 24-70 f2.8 version 2 lens are fantastic lenses, and you really can't go wrong with having either of them in your camera bag. You just have to decide if these differences are big enough for you to upgrade to. Now, taking a look at some of these features, the version 2 of this lens has a closer focusing distance of 0.24 to 0.33 meters from the 24 to 70 millimeter focal length range, while the original has a 0.38 meter closest focusing distance all throughout the focal range. The version 2 of this lens also has a click on-off switch, and that is to initiate a click or smooth control ring that we have here. Now, if you can hear this, versus a silent, and that all depends on your feature use, whether you want a smooth ISO transition or perhaps clicking for apertures. So it really depends on your use cases. The original one does not have that click switch. And finally, you do have a focus limiter switch on the side here as well, right there, for the new version, and the original version does not have that. Now, internally speaking, we have fewer lens elements in the version 2, resulting in being lighter. We have 11 rounded blades for smoother circular bokeh, and the new Silky Swift voice coil motor for faster and quieter focusing on version 2. Externally, we have the version 2 is longer by 16 millimeters and thinner by 5 millimeters. We have the version 2 with 77 millimeter filter threads, whereas the original has an 82 millimeter filter thread, and the version 2 has internal zoom, reducing the shift in weight when zooming in and out. It also provides robust weather sealing because of that. Now, here's some of the things that I've noticed with these lenses. Regarding the filter thread, the version 2 has a 77 millimeter filter thread, which is reduced from the 82 millimeter filter thread on the original version. Now, some people might appreciate the reduction in filter size required, but if you already invested in 82 millimeter filters like I have, that means you're stuck with 82 millimeter filters, and now you have to have a step-up ring to attach to your new version 2 in order to use your 82 millimeter filters. Normally, that will be fine and it wouldn't be a problem, but now when we use a step-up adapter, we no longer can apply the hood onto the lens because the step-up ring actually gets in the way of that. Now, speaking of the lens hood, the new version 2 lens hood comes with a filter window right here that you can slide open and close. Now, this is in case you are using a neutral density filter, a variable neutral density filter, or perhaps a circular polarizer on your lens and you have your lens hood on. You can easily slide that open and adjust the settings of the polarizer or neutral density filter accordingly. Now, I find that this sliding window is a little too sensitive to my liking, and you can open it with just the slightest push with the finger. So I often find that when I'm taking my lens out with this hood on, the window is already open, and when I go to put the hood back onto the lens, I'm taking pictures with the window open, and you do risk the chance of light getting into your images if you have that window open there. If you follow the marking on the lens and match that with the marking on the lens hood, then you'll see that the window is automatically placed on the bottom. But of course, that's one extra thing you have to worry about every time you want to use that lens hood. So in all essence, I may not even use this lens hood now because I won't be able to use it with the filters on to begin with. And I do find that this is a little bit too sensitive to my liking. Perhaps I might just tape it closed if I'm doing photography, because I will not really need it at in that case. For video uses, it might be a little bit different because you may need that neutral density, and people with 77mm filters will actually make use of this window. Now, the version 2 is just slightly longer, as you can see, than the version 1, and this is of course at the expense of having that internal zoom right in your lens. So some people might like this, some people may not like it because it does take up a little bit more space in your camera bag. Speaking of internal zooms, that is actually one of the things that I love about this lens, is that now I don't have to worry about using this lens in inclement weather. Oftentimes when it's raining and when I'm outside shooting with a lens, I often want to minimize the times that I use zoom in the rain, because I don't want to risk the rain actually getting inside the barrel when I'm zoomed out like this. So you do have the risk of all the rain coming in here, and when you zoom back inside again, that water is simply going to go inside your barrel. And now with that internal zoom, we have a more robust weather sealing in effect here, and this reason alone is probably worth enough to upgrade for me personally. Another advantage of the version 2 is the weight. It is immediately noticeable upon picking it up out from the box that it came in. 675 grams versus 805 grams for the original. The faster focusing of the version 2 is also very noticeable. It's very snappy and very refreshing, to be honest. It's almost like when you're upgrading your iOS system on your iPhone from perhaps 2 versions below to the newer one. Now all your operations on your iPhone are snappy and so quick. It's just like that feeling you get when you upgrade from the version 1 original to the version 2 of this lens. Another feature that I really like about this is that you do get fewer flare in your images because of the coatings inside your glass elements, and also the new design with the reduced amount of glass elements in there. Now, are all these features enough for you to upgrade from the original to version 2? With an MSRP that is slightly higher for version 2 than it was for the original version, you'll have to decide which features you think are most beneficial for yourself and if that is worth the extra cost. Now, as I mentioned before, for me personally, the internal zoom was a big enough reason for me to upgrade, because I do often photograph in inclement weather, and me not having to worry about which focal length I need to use or I can use depending on the weather was that deciding feature for this particular lens. Are you considering the new 24-70 f2.8 version 2 lens from Nikon? Let me know if you have any questions or your thoughts on if any of these advantages are big enough for you to upgrade to. Thanks for watching my video. I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.